In the book, No Limits, Blow the Cap of Your Capacity by Maxwell, John C. teaches us how to develop and apply these capacities in our daily lives, promising an exponential growth of success once we unlock them. The author emphasizes that we often limit ourselves based on our perception of our personal abilities, hindering us from reaching our maximum potential. Awareness plus skills plus choices equals capacity. The only way for you personally to reach your maximum potential as an individual and as a leader is to develop your strengths. We all need someone else's help if we want to become aware of how we can reach our maximum potential. If you want something done, give it to a busy person. People who accomplish a lot seem to be able to take on even more and continue to be productive. Life is like a 10-speed bicycle. Many of us have gears we never use. Charles Schultz. People generally have a capacity they don't access or aren't even aware of. But we can change that. Most people need to be shown the path they should follow if they want to become more aware of what is happening to them. The best way is to put them in situations where they can identify their weaknesses, use their strengths, learn from other leaders, and reflect on their own experiences. Those who succeed desire excellence. And excellence comes from focusing on your strengths. Whatever you need to tackle, try to do it better. It is the only path you must take if you want to develop your capacity. The key is action. We get results only when we apply everything we have learned in practice. You can eliminate obstacles that prevent you from developing your capacity. Awareness is everything. As soon as we know that some of the limitations are artificial, we can start overcoming them, eliminating them so that we can evolve. If you want to reach your limits, you have to train until you reach them. The belief that you have more to show can be the first step if you want to work on a higher capacity but also have a life without limits. The place between the comfort zone you are in and your dream is where life itself happens. Nick Vujicic. Between 20 and 30 years old, we spend our time discovering the hundreds of ways we can be. However, as we mature and reach the age of 30, we begin to discover everything we will never be. As we head towards 40 and beyond, the challenge is to know exactly what capacity we have and recognize our limits but also transform ourselves into the best version of ourselves. Factors you can't control: place of birth, year of birth, the family you were born into, innate traits. Part of the process of achieving a goal is being aware of the things that limit you but that you cannot change, so you can direct your attention to those that can help you expand your capacity. You can succeed if others don't believe in you, but you can't succeed if you don't believe in yourself. It's better to manage your energy than to manage your time. Not time but energy is the fundamental yardstick of high performance. People who reach their maximum capacity don't stand aside waiting for something to happen. They stand out and take action. This requires energy. The three key conditions a person must meet to have a day full of energy are: significance to things that benefit those around you. Interactions create more positive than negative moments. Energy make choices that improve your physical and mental health. It takes mental, emotional, and physical energy to make a change. It is essential to increase your energy level as much as possible. People need recovery time from tougher periods but also to regain emotional balance. Without regular recovery periods, we are not physically capable of coping with long-term extreme positive emotions. Eliminate all elements that drain your energy and focus on things that amplify it. Manage it so that you only do what matters to you. Believe me, it will change your life. Emotional capacity is the ability to positively manage discomfort, failures, criticism. Even today, I will master my emotions perfectly. Og Mandino. Mediocre people want those around them to be mediocre too. Those with exceptional results want others to succeed as well. You must understand the difference between a fact of life and a problem. A fact of life is something you cannot control or fix. A problem can be fixed. Emotionally strong individuals first look at themselves and see what needs to be changed. They do not focus on others or circumstances. After identifying my mistakes, I asked myself, what can I learn from what I did wrong today? The most important conversations we have every day are those we have with ourselves, having an extraordinary impact on us. In a leader's life, there are no 2 good days in a row. Every day something negative happens, risking emotional destruction. Emotionally strong people expect to face difficulties and learn to appreciate the progress they bring with them. An emotionally strong individual can start fresh every day and function normally. You will fail. Especially at the beginning. You will make mistakes. And not only is it okay, but it's also essential. If you're not resilient, the first failure will be the last because it's the end. Those who excel in their work have learned to live with failure. A person with exceptional results fails much more often than a mediocre one. They start more things, try more, attack more. True masters have a mountain of mistakes behind them. Eric Greitens. Erase all achievements from your personal record and allow yourself to be a beginner again. Steve Jobs. If you want to enhance your thinking capacity, you have to dig for ideas. Personally, that's how I do it. I constantly search for ideas and try to unearth them. For me, a good day is one in which I've positively impacted someone's life and had a good idea. A good idea is like muscles. If you don't use them, they atrophy. The moment you hear a good idea, think immediately about how you can use it. Write down your ideas, try to think as clearly as possible. Writing helps you perceive everything very clearly. It forces you to formulate the idea, turning it into something visual. Find a place to gather your thoughts, don't scatter your ideas. To derive as many benefits as possible from an idea, you must not only analyze it well but also express it. Both steps are essential, but their order depends on how you are programmed to think. Formulating ideas helps us see them immediately more clearly. Writing down an idea accelerates the intellectual side. It helps you clarify your thoughts. Discussing it also gives it an emotional aspect and makes the connection between thinking and soul. If you sit at a table with a small group of people who think correctly and present an interesting idea, they will improve it. Once the idea has been presented and improved through brainstorming, it's time for even more people to see it. If the only person hearing your ideas is your own mother, she will tell you that all of them are good. If you explain them to strangers, more skeptical by nature, you will realize how they truly are. After implementing an idea and testing it, ask yourself, what have I learned from this? And then see if the idea is still viable. The more questions you ask at the beginning, the fewer you will ask at the end. When launching an idea, you need to know as clearly as possible what you want people to find out and what you want them to do. The launch is the most important test of an idea. Implement the idea and improve it, make your way of thinking work. People usually attribute their successes and failures to the relationships they have and are involved in. There's no better way to show people that you appreciate them than by asking for their opinion. Effective communication means offering something of value to those who are listening, not just to yourself. Evolve to help others become better. Every time you become a little more valuable, you can offer more value to those around you, who will then have greater relational capacity. To build extraordinary relationships, you need to want more for people than from them. Those who want to do things for others and give more than they receive are at an advantage. I always prefer to believe the best about people, because it saves me a lot of trouble. Rudyard Kipling. Family life is the most crucial territory where you must learn to manage difficult people. Implement the proximity principle. Get close to 10 people who can help you reach a higher level. The most important chance we can have in life is to know the right people. The people you meet in life and build relationships with will greatly determine your success. You can evolve by asking those with strong social skills to help you. Let them complement you. Don't forget that you can bring people around you by telling them you need them. Creativity means asking, what is the answer? Without thinking if there is any answer. Creativity always involves time, patience, and experimentation. You just have to start the process firmly convinced that there is an answer. Every door you open leads to another door. One of these doors will eventually lead to your answer. Every time someone comes to me with a problem, I ask them to think of at least 3 solutions, precisely to help them be more creative, open-minded, and willing to consider more ideas or opinions. If you try 30 new things every year, you might end up with 15 fantastic experiences. But if you wait to try new things only when you're sure of success, then you'll probably only succeed 3 times. It's easy to come up with new ideas. The most challenging part is to let go of the things you loved and that worked 2 years ago but will soon be outdated. I write only when I'm inspired. Fortunately, inspiration strikes every morning at 9 o'clock sharp. William Faulkner. The right thing to do and the hardest thing to do often coincide. 9 principles of truly productive individuals. 1. Visualize the perfect result. 2. Start working before you know how to implement your vision. 3. Fail quickly, fail first, and fail often. 4. Stay focused longer than others. 5. Take stock of your own skills and resources. 6. Stop dealing with things you don't do very well, focusing instead on what you do best. 7. Establish a close connection with your team members. 8. Make day-to-day decisions so that you and your team can progress. 9. Always strive to establish what you can improve. You can't change yesterday, and you can't control tomorrow. However, you can choose what you do now if your goal is to make tomorrow better. If you want to be productive and successful, think about the future, but act now. The more we learn, the better we understand how much we don't know. The greatest compliment you can give someone is to ask for their opinion. Questions initiate the conversation, but listening encourages it to continue. It's not okay to spend your time and energy on people who ask for your advice but then never do what you recommended. Ideally, work with people who want change. Tomorrow's opportunity is determined by the responsibility taken yesterday. People who don't know where they're going usually end up where they don't want to be. Taking control of the direction of your life involves taking responsibility for yourself and your daily actions. Can you control everything? Of course not. But you can choose to control those things that depend on you. Identify the areas of your life that you can control and those that you cannot. Our first responsibility is to develop good habits that serve our interests and stop the losses, caused by bad habits, that threaten to define us. The values we have determine our character, and character sets the direction we take in life. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. John Wooden. Every time you make a commitment to someone, you create hope. When you respect your commitment, you build trust. If you have good character, difficulties will only increase your determination. If you have weak character, difficulties will discourage you. The perspective you have will determine the world you live in, and you can choose your perspective. You are the one who decides whether you are focused on abundance or scarcity. When you change your perspective from one dominated by scarcity to one dominated by abundance, you open the door to innovation and positive change, not only for yourself but also for others. The more you give, the more you get. And that helps you become even more generous. The abundance paradox: the more you offer, the more you have to offer, and the more you want to offer. Sometimes, the smallest step in the right direction becomes the biggest step in your life. Great things are not achieved accidentally. Remember, all valuable things are challenging. To get what you want, you need to allocate time, effort, demonstrate consistency, energy, and devotion. Do you know what's important to you? If you haven't clarified this and written down what's important to you, the lack of discipline you feel is likely caused by this. The best way to support your self-discipline is to know what's important, and that should be a criterion to guide you. The elimination principle: if you spend all your time working on highly profitable tasks, at the end of the day, you'll have eliminated all unprofitable activities that could have distracted you from your true work. Many of the things we do in life have no deadlines. The consequence is that we end up postponing many of them day after day. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. You cannot maximize your capacity if you cannot develop your discipline. Good intentions are overrated. Even the smallest action is more valuable than the best intention. It's all so simple, really. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you start something, finish what you started. Spend 5 minutes every evening thinking about the people you'll see the next day and ask yourself, what can I tell them, what can I offer them, or what can I do for them so that the time spent together is memorable, surprises them, and makes their lives better. People who make a difference are those who think in advance about how to improve the lives of others. To reach maximum capacity, you must serve others and make their lives better. By doing small things that seem unimportant but positively change the lives of others, we cultivate modesty. And if we do these things with love, we cultivate even more modesty. Strong people don't focus on negative experiences. They focus on what they can learn from those experiences. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, then go and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Howard Thurman. If you want things you've never had, you must be willing to do things you've never done. Are you the top of your class? If yes, then you're not in the right class. You need to find people who are better than you to learn from them. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. Mahatma Gandhi. You cannot achieve goals beyond your level of development. Goals are not achieved. You develop up to them. Jim Rohn.